absolutely stunning. There's so many people up there. I'm having a bit of trouble, so I don't know. I hope you can hear me on the other side because I can't hear this side. So I'm as well, so I hope to consciously apologize as well. Once again, thank you very much for being very Dylan for the run once again, my friend. Always great to see you, Dylan. John, fantastic to see you as well. Once again, Fiona, absolutely majestic, beautiful lady in waiting. And if you haven't subscribed to Fiona's profile, please do so. And subscribe immediately after this okay. John, so that's it, Debbie, right? That's it, Debbie. How are you keeping? Absolutely fantastic person. John, and listen, any better? Sound any better? Oops. What's it? Andre got a sound issue, muffled voice. Sorry, man. Hopefully that sounds better. Just listen. Let me know if it's Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. John, busy Dylan. Just going through all the. Much better. Okay, it must be that extension of mine then. Sorry. Great stuff. At least we're going better. So how are you all keeping? How was your week? How's it been going? Yeah, I had a 6-day week this week. It's been ridiculous. I ended up going started a first class on Saturday morning at 8, only to finish at 5:30 again. So yeah. And I've just pushed a button, which I have no idea what I've done there. Okay, back again. So yes, so Saturday I finished at 5:30. Did the pooches wee on the sound? I don't know. You know what? You know, Aussie lifts a leg against anything these days. It's quite possible. But yeah, it's lucky in Africa. So yeah, I've got a couple of things going. Put up some stuff as well. Let me see how I try and pop this thing onto screen. See if I can work it like that. Or if it's better like this. Better like that. Like that. Like this. Put me in it over there. I don't know. Very, very strange. What's the name? Road sign that I actually came across. Arrive not dead. Bulletproof your car in South Africa. Alison, what'd you say? This week we had a perfect induction, prize giving, and valedictory. Oh, wow. You had so many things going on. That's fantastic. I hope it was good and you didn't have to work your dear little behind off, as we so much know when these things come in. It's really wonderful to actually come in, but the work that goes on behind it is another story. Debbie says, so a busy bee for Andre working full time. Hope you found time to rest and recover. No, actually, I've been doing that through the evenings, which has actually been damaging me a little bit because the new Diablo Hatred of Vessel expansion came out on Tuesday. So I have been gaming nights like hang. So I'm only getting to put my PPT together for my classes tomorrow, which start at 8 and finish at 5:30 again. Oh my goodness. Cameron, how are you keeping, my friend? Been thinking of you a lot. I hope you're going well. Everything's keeping well. Ina is unfortunately not able to join us because we do have a visitor as well. But yeah, so I thought I'd go through a couple of things from South Africa and things that I found on the net and on Reddit, because I haven't really looked at the news. I am looking at the news, but I'm not looking at the news because I actually got hold of something which I'll probably show you next week. I think it's Dan or John Montel or something like that. And you know what? We inebriate ourselves so much. I'm actually busy doing a thing for my class. All my classes on that's Johannesburg R24. What a sign! Welcome to South Africa. Arrive not dead, bulletproof your car. Yeah, and I'm talking about social media, and they talk about depression and negativity coming in when you are consistently looking at the news and the negativity of the news, and you're not looking at sometimes just maybe some interesting things, because social media can actually be very positive for you, but can also be very negative for you. And it's not only because of other people or sometimes because of your screen time and things to that effect. However, it can also be because of the content that you're looking at. And that doesn't mean, that you're actually on OnlyFans or Pornhub or something like that. It can mean that you're on the news channel, that you're on doomsayers, that you're on people who are consistently pointing out the negative, which we can easily do, as I say, because especially in South Africa as well, which I'll actually point out a couple of negatives today as well, you can do. And it is sometimes just overwhelming because you are what you focus on. Debbie, I think that book, The Secret, or something like that we looked at, it has evades to it a lot. The Now Habit that I'm looking at looks at it as what, and I think it's Dan Martell. I'll tell you a little bit more about him probably next week. And it's surrounding. It's not bad to know what's going on in the news, but it can be a little negative, and we must be careful for that affecting our mental health as well. And that's what social media actually does. It does put into you what you take in, and if you're consistently doing that. What's Cameron say? Hi, Lynn, Hindo, Fiona, everybody. Yeah, Cam. Good always to have you back, my friend. Always good to have you. Davey says, be like a tennis ball. Bounce back up. Don't be discouraged. Debbie, I have to give you one of these. There we go, bouncing back up again. Fantastic, looking really, really good. Nick Miller, how's it, Yella? How's it, Nick? How you keeping, my buddy? Always good to see you guys around. So let's take a look at the next thing that I was actually looking at, and that would be, I don't think you can read that too well. I have it on this side, yeah, and of course I accidentally have my chat going over it. But I found this on Reddit, and it says people who have immigrated to South Africa, what's it been like for you? Now, it is a year ago's article, or a year ago's question that was placed, because we're often looking at people immigrating out of South Africa, but we're not looking at people looking into South Africa. What has it been? In our left, Andre to his own devices, druk baie knoppies weer. Hendo, the reaction to you is people who have immigrated to South Africa. So yeah, in the links below, you can find the, in the comments below, you can find the links to all of these full articles and that as well. People who have immigrated to South Africa, what's it been like for you? We know all South Africans, we all know South African is a complex place to live, South African. South Africa. I'd say our country is the best I've experienced outside of poor governance, crime, load shedding, potholes. Now, it says, I can even sort of deal with the last two, load shedding and potholes, but the first two is a mess. How is it for immigrants in South Africa? Are you happier? If so, and why? Now, okay, my head is going to be turning a bit because I can't read on my screen either. Yes, we are the most welcoming nation. We have absolutely, I will tell you right now that South Africa is one of the most fantastic people under the sun. We are, what would they say in Afrikaans? Gasvry, a gas-free people. Yes, and I definitely think that we have some of the most wonderful people that you can ever come across in South Africa. One of the answers to that question was, I lived there for 6 months, really enjoyed my experience there. Amazing country with amazing people, but it's more dangerous than Europe, and there are less opportunities. No reason to move there unless you already have a good offer. People with money have houses with security fences. Really unequal country with a lot of contrasts, in my opinion, is still recovering and transforming from its past, but it is in the wrong hands. One of the answers coming back from there, which we have been saying. John says, no need for the bulletproofing, a Shambok does the trick. Go, John. So, yeah. And then there's a next one from Scar Ballot. It's a positive and negative. He was there for 3+ years, American living in Pretoria. But once again, everybody has the one statement over and over. They loved South Africa, and everybody says it is the most beautiful country. And that is true. We cannot argue with the fact that South Africa is the most beautiful country in the world as such. That's what comes through all in all. And then life is also simple and easier than in the US. Yes, I've always compared South Africa to Cambodia. And it is simple, more simple than the US as such. We'll just see. No. No, I just thought I might try and make it bigger or something funny like that, etc., but it's not going to work. We'll stick with it as it is. Yeah, so, and then the next thing it says, South Africa is much easier and better if, and this is the next one, if you have money. Listen to this person. The unemployment, even for educated people, is atrocious. This person was fortunate because he was paid, or she was paid, whichever, decently and in US dollars. And my housing was paid by my employer. That is a ton taken off your back already. It is absolutely, you know what, once you actually just say dollars, and then next thing you have a housing paid for, I mean, that's more than half your expenses taken out of your thing. So yeah, then you can enjoy the wine and food. And it says, I will also say it remains incredibly racially divided, which is a concern for this person because it says the effects of apartheid in my life are every day. I can see the effects of apartheid in my everyday life. Every business I went in, the manager is always white and the worker is black. Yes and no. There are quite a few white managers around as well. But the thing is, anything below manager where you do not need to have a specialized training is BEE. So you cannot really, actually, it's difficult to employ somebody that is white in a non-specialized position. Difficult, yeah. Let's take a look quick. Cam says, I have given up drinking coffee. Root coffee has gone from 89 to 138 for 800-gram packet. I have to sacrifice so much. Hey, Cam, really sorry. And Frisco, what's Frisco like these days? I don't know if it's cheaper at all. I used to like Frisco as well at one stage. It sort of like gave it a creamy, puffy taste. The person says, load shedding drove me nuts. The crime is real and got way worse, in my opinion, after COVID, and you're back. Overall, it was still a wonderful experience. Loved my time there, and especially the South African, once again, people. But it does come with challenges. And then there's two more. There's one that says, I tried to immigrate to South Africa for my spouse. But yes, something that is interesting, it was too difficult and not an immigration friendly place. I provided every bit of documentation requested, and it still wasn't enough to get a spousal visa. I had a job offer, but the work visa wait time was over a year. That is quite mad, in fact, actually, because I mean, how many people from Africa are just sort of like walking by, walk on by, and then people are legitimately trying to come in from Europe. There's a lady who wanted to come in with her husband, who was obviously South African. Too difficult. Then there is racial segregation, religion, conservatism, sexism, load shedding. Very few places are walkable, and most homes are prepped to some degree for an invasion. None of this gave me good vibes. Widespread reliance on suppressed wage household labor to be shocking. Suppressed household labor. She refers here to the employees as the domestic, was not respectful of their humanity. I understand it's common to offer your household employees food because they are struggling, but why not pay them better? People are all struggling. Actually, having a domestic is a luxury. But when you do, and you're trying to do your best for them, you try and buy in bulk and actually share some with them. And that's the reason, lady, not because we've got the money, so we buy the food instead of giving the money. Hendo, if you got the money, dollars, pounds, or euros, income in South Africa is good. Yeah, that's it. That's what I've always said. I've been able to do more on a pretty poor budget in South Africa when I go visit than what I was able to do when I was there. Not that it is a lot more. I'm also on a tight budget, yeah. But anyway, these people came to registration for home affairs, for their child's birth certificate. Was a huge exercise because they tried to prove that the birth was out of wedlock because they were married outside of South Africa while they were pregnant. That said, the country has a beautiful nature. Once again, everybody loves the beauty of this country, of South Africa. My spouse ended up immigrating to my home country, and our marriage is better for it. He's extremely happy. Why are we making it so difficult for people to come into the country, especially from Europe and that? It's just a question as well. I've just taken a few of the answers, obviously, in the what's down below. If you want to actually come on and chat to me as well, let me just see. I did have the link here somewhere, I think. Content, I forgot. Where do I get the link from? Where? Let's go to settings. I knew I wouldn't be able to find it. So I did. What is up there? No. Anyway, I did put it onto a Word document because I thought that, hey, let's take a look. See, sorry for the silence. I do apologize. However, okay, so yes, just very, very interesting that the people are just. Yeah, I'm going to post it in there now. I think it should be that one. There we go. But yeah, it's just very, very interesting that you can't get people from Europe and US, etc., to be able to immigrate to South Africa. However, the people from Africa are sort of just like a funneling into South Africa. So how's that a problem? Debbie says, home affairs not helpful for foreigners, unfortunately. Sadly, it's very bad, yes. The last one, South Africa, yeah. South African, yeah. She doesn't know anyone that has immigrated to South Africa, but she's in Australia, and plenty of South Africans have moved abroad to places like US, Canada, UK, and New Zealand. I have to admit that South Africa, once again, is one of the best countries in the world. So none of the South Africans that have moved out of South Africa has ever said that South Africa is a bad place, has ever not wanted to go back to South Africa, has not missed Africa, and once again, the absolutely awesome people that many of you make up are absolutely fantastic people. Um, you know what? I like a bit of conservatism, honestly. As I said, once again, I don't want to say Asia because in Cambodia there is still a religion, but like I mean, I'll take a look. Europe, for instance, doesn't really stand with a religion anymore, and China doesn't stand with a religion. When you don't have some form of deity or God in your life, you do not have a center pole for your life to be guided by, integrity. I once again say that it's doesn't matter which one you hold on to. There is always a guidance. Somebody said the other day, I was reading, Buddhism is a way of life or a guide of life. It's not a religion. I don't know. It doesn't matter which way it is. But if you look at it and it's still a standing point, then it's still a standing point. It's better than putting materialism in the way of your life as such. The lady says South Africa stays to be one of the best countries in the world. Unfortunately, load shedding, crime, poverty, apartheid, lack of usable public transport, and corrupt governance has been the downfall of the country. And I agree, public transport is a problem in South Africa. If you don't happy to squeeze triple the amount into a taxi, you don't go anywhere. And you take a look. I know, Buzzy, you struggle extremely to get from where you need to go. And if there was any form of decent public transport, there would be so much easier for people to be able to move around. And it is really, really important that public transport be kept. But you also need a formal mutual respect. I know the public transport in China is really, really good. I have unfortunately cannot communicate on the rest of the world, but I do believe that Europe and the US also has a fairly decent public transport going through it as well. Cambodia, no, very much like South Africa. But you can still get a tuk-tuk pretty cheaply. But yes, still it is something that South Africa is desperately needing. It is proper public transport that does not interfere with your personal space. Let's put it that way. I mean, conservatism. So yeah, I appreciate now more than ever having electricity whenever I need it, and I can go running at night in my neighborhood. But it's difficult leaving your culture, especially for us conservative South Africans that are pretty sheltered and grounded. And that's, once again, it is a difficult thing leaving your culture. Germany is now getting tough on immigration. I can imagine, because I mean, even in South Africa, there are people a toughy time on immigration as such. It is really, really. I see there's someone coming in. Before we go on, let's pull them in there. Who have I got? I have Buzzy. Hello. I can't hear you. Just hold a second. No. See if I can get my speakers to work.
Can you hear me?
No, I can't. I unplugged them. That was very clever. I'm sure everyone else can hear you, so you can go for it so long there. It's just me and my good old speakers there that aren't working again. Speakers, to our speakers. Audio. No. Realtek audio. Say hello.
Hello.
No, I can't hear you.
Hello.
Okay, let me grab hold of these. Oh, wait, let me try. Try now again.
Hello. Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Can you hear me now?
Lord, apps. Now I'm trying to get my speakers in. Sorry. I do apologize. Should have headphones, yeah. Of course, me and my very, very well prepared, like, don't worry, call in. It's quite okay.
How are you?
see if I can get this sorted like this. Like that.
Okay. Can you hear me on the
Okay,
chat?
try and speak now. Hello?
Okay.
No, no.
Hello?
Right, try now.
Hello? Hello?
I can see there's volume
Hello?
there.
Hello?
I'm sure everyone else can hear you.
Yes, they can hear me on the chat.
Yes, so I should be able to hear you.
Hello?
And I have not muted you at all. No. And my speakers are
No?
working. Let me just see here quickly. Oh, I've been muted. Great. Settings. Output.
How is everybody in the chat? Hope you're all well.
Thing here. There we go. Sorry, guys.
Streamlabs issues, as always.
On the actual program. Okay, try now.
Can you hear me?
It's not going to work yet. Oh, am I having joy of joys? Everyone can hear you, Buzz. Chat to them. I just can't hear you. It's my speaker system that's a problem. Unless it's giving me a problem throughout everything.
So, anyway, an update on my foot. I've been to the hospital and the clinic, and yeah, it's looking good.
I'm just going to mute.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you absolutely beautifully. Sorry about that, guys.
Anyway, I was saying hi to you, and thank you so much for coming back onto YouTube. You've given us all something to really look forward to on a Sunday, Andre. Thank you.
No, it is an absolute pleasure. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. There's a time delay.
Okay. No,
Excuse me.
I actually really enjoy it, and it's been absolutely awesome with everybody. I love the interaction, even when Hendo whoops me. I now have, I can actually hear my sounds now. Hendo, your reaction. Does it come through? Anyway, but yeah, I'm just talking about just things that I found instead of actually looking at news and views, because I mean that's where you go to Chris Wyatt for. That's where you go to Ronaldo for. That's where you go to Morning Shot for. It's pointless. I'm trying to repeat it. Sometimes things we can actually talk about. We do talk about South Africa and obviously a lot of immigrations and things to that effect. But however, Hendo is dealing with his frost. Okay. Who was at your Brian? And lovely photo. Oh, Buzzy. Somebody's gave you a question there. But yeah, thank you always for being to push me to actually get
there were 9 people, JB. There were 9 people at the Bring and Bra. It's part of this WhatsApp group that I've formed for singles over 50 to meet up once a month and just be safe and happy and just enjoy being with other people. You know, I'm very reclusive. I hardly ever go out. So it's a good way to get me out and about. I don't know whether anybody else is finding the same thing, but yeah, I'm very reclusive. And now with this foot, it's taking a while. Hey, it's 3 months now. So yeah, I'm just hoping for the best. And obviously, my daughter's doing a brilliant job of helping me keep it clean. And yeah, she's doing an excellent job. So yeah, it's gonna take a long time to heal. And of course, it affects my mobility and stepping out a door, and yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah, no, I can imagine that it's must be pretty painful. But I do like that singles club. Do tell me more about it. But I think you'll have to talk offline a bit so that Ina doesn't hear about that one because it's a singles club for over 50. Sounds really good.
Yes, it is. And what's brilliant, the reason why I started the group, as I'm sure everybody can relate, I feel very lonely. So my one friend said to me, come on, get off your butt and do something about it. Start a WhatsApp group. So we've actually got 70 people on the group. And yesterday we had a meet and greet of 9 to 10 people. And it's just lovely because, I mean, when I went out in um, I would always go out
We
with
are still you.
mates, not on my own. So, nowadays it's not a good idea to go out and about on your own. And this is one way of doing it safely. And then we get to choose where we're going to go. So it's a brilliant way to meet people. Everybody was sad that I wasn't there yesterday, but as you all aware, I can't go out. I've got to rest this one. I've got to elevate it all the time. So I haven't been to 2 meet and greets already because of my foot. So anyway, but yeah, everybody's very grateful and very happy with what I'm doing. So, but it's like trying to herd cats.
Yes, it's hard work. I remember when I had Trevor on online as well. Trevor also used to say, "What isn't there, you create," and that helps a lot. And I'm sure it helps a lot because people are, you know what, you're not necessarily looking for a partner, but it helps with companionship and just getting to know people, as you said, and just getting out is very very important because you end up reclusing yourself alone.
Mm.
I've reclused myself this whole week in the evenings in this room, even without Ina, because I've been gaming the new expansion pack. But no, kidding all aside, that is a lovely idea. And if you can get people all over the country, they can probably arrange meet and greets within their own regions as well.
Yeah, well, I'm not that brave, Andre. I mean, I'm struggling to just keep this WhatsApp group going. Never mind the Pepper's Echo. Pepper's Echo is very easy, but this, as I said, you set a meet and greet place, and then everybody says, "Oh, but this place is better, and this place is better," and then somebody says, "No, I'll arrange for us to go and do a bring in bride." But then they don't get all the relevant information. I mean, I've got people who are disabled, and I've got people who are in wheelchairs. So those are all things that got to be taken into account when organizing a meet and greet, place. Um, but yeah, it's as I said, it's like trying to herd cats to get everybody to participate. And I mean, there's 70 people on the group, and only 9 people pitched up for the bride. It's like, well, what am I doing this for? You know what I mean? But those 9 people got to meet each other, and they had a wonderful time.
Well, don't worry. At least 9 people came around, and you're doing it for those 9. I mean, I sit. I don't know how long I've been doing Pepper's Echo. Yes, the last year was an absolute rash of rubbish or whatever, and I'm feeling a little bit more positive and a little bit more energetic towards it now. But it is also only for with a handful of people. If it wasn't for you, absolutely fantastic, wonderful, stunning people that actually do support. I would probably quit it and just stream gaming as such. That's it. You are actually doing an effort and making a difference for people, Buzzy. So yeah, keep at it. I would say keep at it.
It,
I mean,
it,
even it's
it,
9 people, it's 9 people
it
more that I have
has,
here.
Andre, it has its moments. Do you understand? And then they don't know where a place is. And meanwhile, it's in Main Street and it's very easy to find. Do you understand? And then somebody needs a lift from the Dargle or from um, Pietermaritzburg. And there are people who are agreeable to lift people. So, it's just something that I did because I was so lonely. I mean, all my friends have left Hike. or died. So, this was a way to meet new people.
I don't know if it's just me, but I'm losing a lot of sound and connection from you at the moment. Picture's frozen and your sound is like giving me every third word at the moment as such. I don't know if everybody else is getting you clear. Hopefully they are, because you're having to pass through. I unfortunately didn't switch off my VPN because I was actually busy on the internet, but I also don't know if it's going to run smoothly or not, especially if I've got to use a video or two, which I'm not using at the moment. But yeah, it might be that's happening on my side. But yeah, it's you should be back again. Let's try you out.
Or it might be my signal, Andre. It's very iffy. So let me turn around without falling off the bed. The router is. Does that sound better?
Yeah, you're actually pretty cool now. Yeah.
Is that
What's
better?
yeah. Debbie says you're a million
Okay.
sea miles away. We understand. Yeah, I am, and I'm trying to operate with this thing. I'm telling you, the internet is a bit of a challenge here, but yours is sounding good now. Thanks.
Okay, so have you got a parachute? Andre, have you bought a parachute?
A parachute? Why? Why
Have
would
you
I have
bought a parachute?
to go downstairs?
There's no ways in hell that I'm going to let you live on. There's no ways that I'd be on my hands and knees trying to get inside of a unit. I can't handle high buildings. No, they're not for me.
I
But
love
if
being
there's
up
a
in.
fire or something, you're going to have parachutes. But you're going to have parachutes for you and Ina, and each of you are going to have to take a pooch.
They're telling you, I'll just give you my last dying live stream if there's a fire, because I'm not taking 31 stairs.
Well, that's why I say you need a parachute.
I don't know if it'll open by the time we hit the ground. I think as we hit the ground, it'll start opening. it's not high enough yet. I need to do one of those daredevil things, or at least, one of those bungees that sort of like let you down slowly.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for all the content you're providing us with. It's very interesting. It was lovely looking at your school. Very, very interesting and informative. And it's nice to see where you actually are and where, what you're doing. And it's just awesome to see you settle in and be so happy.
Yeah, this year's definitely been a lot better for me. As I said, less for more, because I had more. Ina's actually looking around at the moment as well, and hopefully we can sort of save to put stuff together. But if we do go somewhere, we try and show you a little bit as well. But even if we don't, we try and tell you a little bit more, and I try and watch different videos and that, because, yeah, that's the information. Oops, you're gone. You're gone, Buzz. But I do try. But thank you very much for coming on, Buzzy. And the link is there in the chat if you are wanting to see it at all. We hear you perfectly. John says, I've been on the 57th floor at the Leonardo. Now, I know in Kimberley, the
Hello? Is this my live stream? Where's Andre gone? Can you guys just tell me whether I'm on the screen and you can hear me? Please? Because I don't know where Andre has gone. And Debbie, I just want to say thank you to you for being so supportive all the time. It's your comments and your caring just are just so awesome. Thank you. Maybe I should leave. Okay, thanks, White Zulu. It's good to know. So I'm basically manning the live stream. Oh dear.
Maybe it was because I was sharing my screen and everything, but all of a sudden my whole video and everything went back. So I do apologize. Thanks, Cam. We are suffering a problem. Please remember the TV in the old days. Please be patient. We have a problem. Or please be a problem. We have a patient. And I hope you can hear me back. Lynn, thank you very, very much for coming on. I really appreciate it, and also appreciate your support and drive, and I know everybody else does as well. It is really phenomenal having people like you to help and keep me on my toes. You all keep me on my toes very, very nicely. Show one screen. Show. Damn it. Damn it. And now my sharing is gone. I don't know if it's actually my internet. Possibly it can quite possibly be my internet. As it's loading, let's try and put it back there. Okay, so let me try and get back to something a little bit interesting. China's go-to beverage is hot water. Did you know that? Essential to keeping things hot. And there you can see them at a waiter pours hot water at the opening session of a Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference at the Grand Hall of People in Beijing on the 3rd of March in 2016. Does that really matter? But the thing is, it's essential to keep things moving. Hot water. Brigades of young women and a few men are toting thermoses around the massive buildings all day, pouring drinks for delegates. Some use the steaming hot liquid to make tea, but majority of them drink it straight up, hot water. For many Westerners, the idea of drinking plain hot water is odd, but for most Chinese, amongst others, think American habits of chugging ice water is equally bizarre and unhealthy. However, I know in South Africa, when I thought I'd just make coffee out of hot water, one of my workers came up and grabbed hold of me and went, "No, you're hot." And I went, okay, fine, and what's it? But some people trace the hot water habit back to the founding of the Communist China in 1949, where tap water quality wasn't high and the government promoted drinking boiled water, and they even had like boiler rooms, etc., etc. But under the precepts of Chinese medicines, balance is key, and hot or warm water is considered essential to balance cold and humidity. In addition, it is believed to promote blood circulation and toxin release. However, hotels overseas are getting hip to the Chinese tourist needs, but adding amenities like slippers, Chinese language newspapers, and yes, kettles are still sometimes a problem. These days, many Chinese have portable kettles, but Beijing still has a few boiler room masters and rishui delivery men who fill and distribute thermoses as such. But yeah, even at school, we have water dispensers, and at a previous school as well. And the water dispenser has 2 buttons on it, and it says warm and hot. When we go and fill up our water for the coffee machine, we get to choose warm or hot water. There is no cold water dispenser at school as well. So yeah. Cam says, my dad drinks hot water every morning. My CEO in Cambodia drank hot water. He had his little flask next to him, and he drank hot water as we had a meeting as well. They believe fully in their hot water over here. I've got to room temperature water because sometimes I get like that brain freeze thing. But hot water is what they drink. And at school, as I say, freely available to everybody is your warm or your hot water. There is no cold water taps drinking, like you have a cold water fountain or something to that effect. So just something interesting to know. And this lady, as once again in the bottom information, I have linked the full article. She talks about how she's gone on a trip with her husband or a boyfriend or whatever, and her husband was at a restaurant, and it's like, can I have a cup of hot water, a glass of hot water, please, with a tea bag, but no, to drink. Drink Horlicks if I want hot drink. No, hot water, summer or winter. Now, something else that has actually become a problem or a headache in my side is the fact, and the difference, it's lying over there now, between iPhone and Samsung. iPhone and Samsung. So I get to China and everything is Apple. So I actually make my jump to Apple in February this year and get a Apple iPhone 15 Plus because I want the big one, because here is my Samsung S24 Ultra, which is fantastic. It has its little pen in it over here, so I can actually make my notes, etc., etc. It connects up to everything, the whole toots. And here is the iPhone 15, released in February. It was coming up February. So I get that release. Now the iPhone 16 has been released. Android 14, so the Galaxy S24 is now out. This is the S22 I have. And the Galaxy S24 is out, debuts with an Android 14 on it. And then also the new Apple iOS is iOS 18, which I do have on my phone as well. The real story on the software front are the onboard AI features. Now, Samsung has basically got an AI feature. The Proof Galaxy AI offers practical features, ability to act as an interpreter with a live translator. The Galaxy AI features were launched exclusively for the 24 series, but has been rolled out. The One UI 6.1 updates brought to the older Galaxy phones as well, which is really, really nice. Then Apple's iOS system has brought out stuff like ChatGPT support, which you can get anyway. You can get it on your Android phone anyway. It has AI image editing features. I don't edit images on a cell phone. It's like trying to edit a postage stamp, first of all. Home screen customization. Do I really care if I can have light or dark icons? Do I really care if I can move the icons wherever I want to and leave spaces in between? It helps me zero with productivity. iPhone mirroring, locking apps, hidden apps, bullshit, everything to that effect. Most iPhones will support iOS 18. Yes, they do. My phone supports iOS 18 and I can move my widgets around. I can edit my photos. There's a million ways in which your photos are now can be custom designed to tell you which photos on which day, and you can have your pics and your favorites and your everything to that effect. It is absolutely wonderful. Galaxy S24 does push the boundaries, however, because now Apple has brought out Apple Intelligence. I don't know if I've got it anywhere, but I have actually linked the link to Tom's hardware, and it is fantastic, or not fantastic. It really gives me a whole lot of AI as well, but nothing too fantastic. But guess what? From February, if you didn't take the Pro Apple 15 Pro, you were just a normal phone user. I don't use it for massive photos and everything to that effect. I was happy with just general photos and things to that effect. So if you didn't take the Apple iPhone Pro 15, you have no access to the AI apps. And the AI is really, it gives you stuff with like Siri support, and Siri will do this. Yeah, Apple Intelligence took center stage at the WWDC, revealing exactly what plans Apple has to catch up to its rivals. Catch up, which means Apple is always following. Some of these changes include an upgraded version of Siri with better conversational skills and awareness. Agent-like behavior lets Siri carry out tasks. Now, I prefer to do my own tasks. I'm sorry, call me old-fashioned, but I want my phone to be able to do that for me. I can't do that on my iPhone. I cannot have access on January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. There's a 7 month difference in the phone. I cannot have access to the new stuff. That is Apple's problem. They don't want to do it back. However, my Samsung updated. You know what I can do with my Samsung phone now? I have actually set it up so that I can make calls or receive calls from Chinese-speaking people. I've set it to mute both speakers. So I will not hear the person speaking. The person speaking will not hear me, although they will speak and I will speak. I will hear the translated version of what comes to me, and they will get a translated version of what comes to them. habit. Why did I fall off again? I don't know. Thank you very, very much, everybody, for being around. I hope I've been around for you, but take care, be good. And if you can't be good, remember, be kind.